You can't tell me honestly. We are a rebellious people. In the United States of America, we want the opposite of what you told us to do, nigga. What you say? I
Right.
don't think he realized that this wasn't gonna go the way that he thought that it was gonna go, and that we rebellious as fuck. Like we be like, hold on, dog. Who you talking to? It could be the right thing and everything. Not saying that it was the right thing. We be like, hold on, dog. Who you talking to?
Yeah, he thought y'all was going, and he came over there. He came over there talking his best hood terminology too. I mean, they was holding us down. Like, who talks like that?
We're like,
No,
hey
no.
man, listen, dog. I know you said what you said, but you in the wrong area, homeboy. Like we'll find a reason to just be like, who you talking to? All right. So with that being said, let me ask y'all a follow up question. Do you think that next, because I don't see anybody, I think that she's gonna lose gloriously. I believe that she's gonna lose gloriously, but I think that they still gonna try to push a woman. That's my personal opinion. Do you believe? Because I see nobody in the bullpen of the Democratic Party to follow up. Do you believe that next they're going to try to push Michelle Obama onto us as a Democratic candidate for president of the United States of America in the next term?
Yeah, homeboy,
No.
homeboy gonna be next.
No.
Homeboy gonna be next.
Slimmy,
Homeboy.
man, we can't
You
do
know,
that, bro. Slimmy.
I think Michelle likes living this non-presidential life.
all right, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop.
I already
Slimmy.
knew where you was going with it.
I don't know, but for real, I don't know. Don't seem like they lame for real. Don't seem like they like sitting back, like and popping up every once in a while, just like Obama doing. You know what I'm saying? Popping up every once in a while,
They
but he
have
had an
nobody
agenda.
else. They have nobody else in the bullpen, though. Nobody. The only other person that I could possibly see that they'll push is Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. They think that she's a superstar.
Not once the black men take back Big Rich.
They think that she is a
They,
superstar.
but no, black people think, like, here's the thing. People need to understand this. A lot of the a lot of the culture in America and the tone is set by black people. Black people just don't control the economics of it all. So Big Gretch that she's using, right? The white people like that. They like the whole, little urban tone thing she got going on. But those white women not voting her in.
For
Those white
Gretchen
women aren't going
Whitmer,
to get her in. Yeah. What's her name? Kamala is having a hard time trying to get middle America, middle road white women, right? The ones that Hillary Clinton split with Trump. And that's because a lot of those women are married.
mm.
They're married and they're going with what their husbands are going with. That's why you're starting to see a lot of the women wean off, the ones that are, with the Teamsters. Their husbands are with the Teamsters, with the unions. Another union the firefighters union decided not to endorse her and all of these things. So it's just like, those women are married. These single chicks live in, the urban cities on the east and the west coast, but the middle of America is more family oriented, and
Who
that's
would
why
they
she
push
thought Tim
then? Who would
Walz
they
would help.
push? Because the only person
They
that
ain't
I
got nobody.
listen, I think that the Democratic Party loves, absolutely adores Michelle Obama. I think that they loved
Totally
her.
not a
I think
Democrat
that
no
they
more.
I think that they loved her at the Democratic National Convention. They looked at her as a superstar above everybody else. And I think that the Republican side is loaded. I think that they loaded with Vivek. I think they loaded with JD Vance. I think they loaded with Byron Donalds. I might even be prone to think that Tulsi Gabbard would move to be completely Republican going
Yeah.
forward. And I think that, like I said, I
Yep.
think the Republican side is fucking loaded all the way
Yep.
down. They loaded. And I think they loaded with Governor Wheelchair. They loaded with Ron DeSantis. I think they loaded all across the board. I don't see the Democrats being loaded like that. I think that if you look at Democrats all across the board, from the mayors to the governors, from the Kathy Hochul's to Gavin Newsom's to Brandon Johnson, Eric Adams, I think that whole party is in flux. The whole party is just in disarray. I don't see any superstars coming out of it. You can talk about Shapiro. Um, I don't see Tim Walls ever making no waves ever. AOC, they might try to push her onto us at some point, but outside of that, and Michelle Obama as a dark horse, I don't see anybody in the Democratic Party that could actually take the next step to become. I mean, you might see Kamala Harris try to run again. So
You
Anton,
think
are you
you think
listening
Cory
to
Booker
the
would have
show?
had a chance if he was
nope,
married?
nope.
Okay, there you go.
They don't. They don't. I mean, you saying if he was married? I can't go by if he was married or not. But I mean, they people like married people.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? That's just almost always been a barrier to entry. And to be
Yeah.
president of the United States of America, you get almost have to be married. So that's one thing that I think AOC don't have going for, because she can't appeal to the people, especially when it comes to family and stuff. But if she ever get her a man, she might be being pushed on you.
they're not trying to appeal to the people though. They think they've changed the people of America enough to where the, as they would call it, the norms are changing. But again, I this is just my opinion. I don't think there are blue states. I think there are blue cities.
Mm. California is definitely a blue state,
No, because if you go to North California, they do not vote like LA.
but the majority of the population is in the Los Angeles, is in the Sacramento's, it's in the
Right. That's
Detroit's.
why I said. That's why I said I think there are
I
blue
mean, everywhere
cities,
though, everywhere is like
not
that.
not blue states. Because if you go to New York, when you talk about New York, most people are talking about NYC, right? But the state of New York does not vote blue.
But I mean, you can make that argument for Texas. The
You can make
major
it for
hubs.
America, period, and that was my point.
No, no, no. I'm saying Texas is a red state, but Houston, Austin, Dallas, all of their major cities are blue.
But again, that's why I'm saying I don't think there's, you know how they say, oh well, there's blue states, right? I don't think there are blue states. I think there are blue cities, and because of how the votes go, that those populated cities, like here in the DMV, Virginia is not a blue state. Okay, Northern Virginia, that's right by DC, is hella liberal. Once you get out of it, it's not. I assure you, right outside of Arlington and Alexandria, where the airports are, out of that, once you start getting down to Fairfax and below, I assure you, it's
Yeah, but
not.
I'm just saying you can make that same argument on the opposite side too.
I can make it everywhere, and that's what I'm saying. So, how do you capitalize on that, right?
You can't,
Like,
because it de- it depends on um Michigan is a swing state, right? Michigan has went red, Michigan has went blue. However, Detroit is always going to be blue. Flint is always going to be blue. Ben Harbor is always going to be blue because those are urban city cores. But that
mm-hmm.
is also where the majority of the population lives, right? The majority of the population lives in Detroit. So you almost need the rest of the entire state to go red, which it is a blue and a red state. We've had Republican governors, we've had Democratic governors. Um, it is a state that is largely a swing state, but
Mm-hmm.
the core of the state, which is where a large majority of the population lives in Detroit, where a hard concentration of people has always been blue.
So, but if every, and this
Did
is where it
hear that?
gets tricky.
I
If
hate, I
every
hate
vote
black.
is supposed to count,
Hmm?
then, huh?
You said what now? You
Did
said
he
what,
say
Mika?
something? Oh, I thought Quentin said something. I'm sorry. I'm saying if every vote is supposed to count, then why are only those populated cities getting
Well,
the?
every
Go
Every
vote
ahead.
vote can
counts.
count.
Every
Every vote
every
counts.
vote does count, but when you start taking into account
Hmm.
electoral college,
Right.
which basically on a state level, well, let's expand it from a state level. Going into the
Hmm.
national, from a national lens, certain
Hmm.
states, obviously based off of how heavily populated it is and then where you draw those lines at, have more impact on the election than other states. So because California and New York hold the majority, a huge part of the population, they're naturally
Hmm.
going to get more electoral college votes, which I think is, what is it, 264 or something like that, that you got to get to 265 or whatever. I don't remember
70.
exactly how many it is. 270.
270.
270. All right.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
because it depends on the population, that then determines how heavy how heavy of a scale that it has as far as how it sways a presidential election as far as the electoral college. So it's never going to be based off of the popular vote because certain issues is more impactful, for example, over in California than it is in Rhode Island. You're not going to have the same thing because the things that impact the people in California or New York, obviously, because like I'll give you an example. How California goes when it comes to emissions regulations and the MPG and the EPA and all of that stuff, so goes the rest of the United States of America. Why? Because automakers care more about sales in California because of how big of the sales are than they do in Cleveland or Rhode Island, right? So they're going to naturally adjust first to what happens over there and then let that inform how it is that they'll try to market to the rest of the United States of America because California has such a huge GDP and a huge buying power. Same thing for New York. One out of every 24 people in New York, they say, is millionaires.
Eric D, I sound just like Kamala does every day.
Quentin, was you about to say something? Quentin?
I was, but when my hand was up, Mika just started talking like she didn't see it, so I'm
Boy,
good.
you know you got to get in where you fit in.
Nope,
I
I'm a
did
polite
see it.
nigga. I'm not a cut you off and just talk out of turn kind of nigga.
You do.
All
Yes,
right.
you do. Stop. Yes, you do. You
Nope.
cut the other day. I was like, I'm talking, I'm speaking, and you was cutting it. I don't care, nigga. I don't care, nigga. It's Pinky, nigga. That's what you did all night. But go
Okay.
ahead.
Quentin is bipolar. Quentin is like Quentin is I don't know if y'all have ever seen that movie. I forgot what the name of it is. I'm not good with names, but it's the name of the movie. It was a part of the trilogy. We didn't realize it was part of a trilogy. But he was the dude. He had like 12 personalities, and then Bruce Willis was his opposite.
Oh yeah, Mr. Glass.
Yeah. Okay. So Mr. Glass was Samuel L.
That's the
Jackson.
second one.
Mr. Glass was Samuel
Unbreakable.
L. Jackson. Unbreakable was the
Unbreakable.
Bruce Willis one.
That's the first one.
But the other guy that had,
Yeah, that's
well,
oh
chat gonna
fuck.
tell us eventually anyway.
Yeah, they gonna tell us. It's like ah
Glass.
no
Nope,
no
it
Glass
wasn't
is the
Glass.
second one. The third one is like Offspring, something crazy, man.
Split.
Split.
Split. Oh,
That's it. Quentin is the guy from
I didn't
Split.
even know that was a trilogy.